Greetings, I'm John the Verbose, and this video is my YouTube Pagan Challenge video for month 2 of the 2017 YouTube Pagan Challenge. And so the first topic, I'm bundling 4 of these topics into one monthly video for the sake of creating fewer videos. So, first topic is, what are your metaphysical talents, if any? For me, the one that I have learned to trust is my own sense of intuition. And there are really no details that are given to me when I feel intuitive or anything. It's just I've learned my biggest lessons from not following my intuition. And so it's kind of those hindsight is 20/20 things. It's like saying, okay, I get it. This wouldn't have happened if I would have followed my intuition and made a different decision. The other decision that may have been going through my mind, the one that's telling me, it's like, do this, do this, do this, do this. I didn't listen, and I learned why. There have been times that I was rewarded with confirmation bias. And there are other times that I just go about my day, and I'll think back to it. It's like, I felt that intuitive ping in my mind, and I'm thinking, I followed it. What would have happened had I not? What was it trying to guide me to do, if anything? And so I just have to not discredit my sense of intuition and just really listen deeply to it and follow through. I mean, especially as long as you're not doing anything stupid or crazy in order to follow that intuition, then you're okay. The second topic is, do you have a preference of divination technique? And I do. When I was in college, more than a decade ago now, I had learned the runes, and I had made my own rune set, and I was gifted a rune set, and I practiced it fairly often. It's a very easy system to learn, but at the same time, it's like I wanted to be a druid, and the whole rune thing, granted, my form of druidry is not historically accurate druidry by any means, but at the same time, I didn't really want to be practicing a divinatory system that the druids, the ancient druids that is, would have known nothing about. And so I have started learning the Ogham, which is the ancient Celtic form of writing, and there's no real mention of Ogham being used as a divination function until you find some medieval Irish manuscripts that refer to a druid named Dallin, who's using the Ogham to determine the location of somebody who I think was kidnapped. And so that's I got to keep reading. I'm still learning, but that's the only place that I found a first real mention of the use of Ogham for divinatory purposes. And so I did make my own Ogham beads, and so it's the whole Ogham alphabet here, and we have this green starter bead at the top and this black stopping bead at the bottom, and when I think on the thing that I'm contemplating, I just mess these up into a ball or into a knot, and then once I feel right about it, then I carefully take a look at it, and I look to see what is between that green starting bead and the black stopping bead. And so it has been extremely random. So I have gotten anything in the middle. I've gotten the end beads both times, and I've also gotten no beads at times. And so I found it to be very effective and very open-ended in how you choose to interpret this as a divination system. And because it really, as a divination system, it really is a modern invention. So just go with it, right? So the third topic is, do you charge your ritual tools? And personally, to me that's a very Wiccan thing, and I'm very not Wiccan. So as a druid, I don't charge my tools, but I do cleanse them. First, I will physically cleanse the tools or whatever it is that needs to be cleansed. I'll clean it so that it's free of dust or whatever. If it's a chalice, I will physically wash it with soap and hot water. And and then afterwards I will cleanse it a second time, kind of more of a spiritual cleansing. And once it's all already clean, I will re-rinse it with more water, and that is my way of visualizing it being cleaned on a spiritual level. And if it's something that can't or shouldn't be cleaned with water, then I will use some sort of herbs, perhaps sage smudging, whatever feels appropriate for the type of object and whatever I have on hand. And then I will consecrate it with sacramental whiskey. And if I don't have any of that available, then I will give it. There are so many ways to go about this. There's no real wrong way. And so one of the methods that I do, like if I'm in a hurry or something, just to separate it from its mundane reality, is I'll give it a quick kiss, and that kiss will make it functionally consecrated to me. And so that goes with stuff that, like, before I set things on my altar, if I'm not going to cleanse them in any way, it's like I will just kiss it to symbolically make it important and put it on my altar. And then when things come off my altar, I have sometimes kissed them again and told them to be mundane, and sometimes I was just like, okay, be mundane, and it's mundane. To me, it's just the psychological aspect that matters the most. And the fourth and final topic for this month's Pagan Challenge video is, where do you perform your rituals? Or, well, do you perform rituals first? And if so, where? Do you cast a circle? How do you create sacred space? And for me, a lot of that stuff is very heavy on the Wicca or witchcraft side of the philosophy. As a druid, I really, like 99% of the time, try to conduct all of my rituals outside in nature. So, and that's something that's just very spiritually important to me, is that I have a nature-based spirituality. I'm going to get out there in nature, out here. And I don't need to create sacred space. To me, it's already sacred. It may be important and beneficial to clean up your ritual space beforehand, and that might make it a little bit more special. But no, I don't cast circles. There are turkeys crossing the river. What was I saying? I do have my ceremonial carnix. This is made of copper pipe and copper sheeting and glass beads for eyes, and the mouthpiece is a candlestick that I cut off and drilled through, and it's a Celtic. It's hardly a replica because it's copper pipes, but it's more steampunk than anything, which I think does it justice anyway. But it is, like the carnix in ancient times, it was a war horn. It may have been a ceremonial horn, and so I use it to summon the druids to the sacred space, or to let the gods know that our ritual is about to begin. And so it is incredibly cold out, but it's above freezing, so I shouldn't freeze to this. So, that is my ceremonial carnix, and that's to signal that the ritual is about to begin, or that the ritual has ended. I usually forget to do the final carnix because we're all packing up and everything. So, that is what I had for this month. Thank you for watching my video, and we'll see you next time.